Welcome to the podcast, where we teach you how to create marketing that pops. Get ready for refreshing conversations with industry experts, trendsetters, and creative minds that'll leave you bubbling with inspiration. Get ready to turn up the volume on your business. Let's get popping. Okay, welcome back to Marketing That Pops. I'm your host, Olivia.
I'm Michelle.
And today we are here with Carly, our social media expert here at Thrive Pop. So we thought it would be fun to have her come in, and we're going to talk about all things social media. So welcome, Carly.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. You had to walk like a couple steps to come in here.
It's a lot of work.
I thought it would be fun if we start off with our myth. I'll explain this to you. I'm sure you know because you do all of our social media, but each episode what we do is we have a myth that we want to debunk. So since we're talking about social media today, I thought the question could be, if you have more followers, if you have a large volume of followers, that equals to have more success. I'm going to hit it to you, Carly, first. What are your thoughts on that?
It depends, I guess, on credibility. Like, if you have more followers, but they're going through your socials and you have, maybe like 20 likes, everyone's going to say you bought those followers.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it depends on your engagement. So no, I would say followers does not equal success. You could have less followers. We have a client that has, around a little over 1,000 followers, but they get about 200 likes plus per post. So that's incredible engagement, and that to me is success.
Beautiful answer. That's exactly what I had written down. Yeah, no, I agree. Michelle, you want to add anything, or you think?
Yeah, I was just going to say the more comments and engagements that you can get are a lot better, just because then people are interested in what you're saying and they're going to keep coming back versus, you may have 10,000 followers but only 1,000 maybe engaging.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I feel like if you're an agency or anybody looking at using an influencer, that's the thing that you really want to be paying attention to is the engagement. Like Carly said, there are people out there that buy followers and then they have a lot of bots, and sometimes it's just them liking and putting little emojis on there, and that's not necessarily what you want. You want real people who are going to be engaged with your audience. So all good things. I thought what we could do is go through each of the platforms and talk about some updates that have happened thus far in 2024. So why don't we start with the big dog, Facebook.
The big dog.
Well, it's been here the longest, right? What I've seen with Facebook is they have a new creator management. It's funny, we were just talking about influencers. It's a creator management tool. So basically, this will be for agencies that work with a lot of creators or influencers. And with this tool, it will give them a lot of options to see all of that engagement. They can do revenue linking, such as like video ad breakdowns. They can see like fan subscriptions. If you have in your business manager, like if you have photos or videos that you want to post for these creators, you can merge those two accounts and you can post those through there. Let's see, what else can you do? You can also see like the earning insights. You can gain insights into the creator page and help come up with better strategies. The thing about this is that you do have to apply. It's just not available to the general audience. So if this is something that you're interested in, there is a link that Meta has out there that you can apply. It's just a form that we can link below. And if you guys are interested, we can add that.
I do know I read this thing where even though Facebook is about 20 years old now, there's no slowing down of people joining. It's still on the rise, which is crazy.
That is nuts.
I always thought that Gen Z thought that Facebook was, for the older generation.
It is.
Oh.
Sorry, guys. But
it is.
In a marketing sense, you have to use it because, you got to market to those older people.
Honestly, and if they're there, hey, we're signing up still. So moving on, let's talk about Instagram. Instagram has made some improvements to their live feature. With co-hosting, I know that there's a lot of issues, like when they try to have other people join their Instagram lives. So they made some improvements there. They've also added some features to the Q&A, so making that all easy to use. I also saw the other day that on Instagram, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but on Instagram in your DMs, every message has the read receipt on. I saw that. Did you see that too?
Yeah, you can turn it off now.
Yeah, which is really cool because, I mean, I feel like you should have the ability to have your own privacy. Otherwise, you just never open the message.
I'm leaving everyone.
Right.
Yeah, you want to leave people on red. Or maybe you do. Oh, you said about the hashtag limit.
Oh, yep. So Instagram is testing out a 5 hashtag limit. So we will see how that goes, if that goes, and if that will just kind of take away the popularity of hashtags altogether or make it more relevant now that they are, not allowing spam of hashtags.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll definitely have to stay tuned and see how that goes.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we've been seeing a lot of improvement with not adding hashtags to socials, and then also just like short form post captions. So
simple, sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the other thing too is, which I think some people have been misled about this, but adding a hashtag that is not relevant, but maybe is a popular thing, right? Like Taylor Swift or whatever, and that doesn't have anything to do with your business.
Yeah.
So it's like, no, that doesn't work.
Yes.
And even though you think, you may get more activity that way, that's just not how it works.
Yeah. I heard about this one person that they were like, oh, well, why don't we just add Kim Kardashian to all of our stuff? We're like, this has nothing to do about your product whatsoever.
Kim Kardashian is not using your product at all.
No. And so, like, Instagram's just going to ding that down.
Yeah.
Like, that's not going to help you. So.
Yeah.
There was a time where it did work, though. Like, in the beginning of Instagram, when hashtags were just starting, like, adding all those hashtags, like, you were able to kind of, like, blow up in the beginning. I didn't get on that train. I should have. I don't know why I didn't.
I did not get on that train.
Yeah, I think it's confusing because people used to just search by hashtags, and now that's not really, people aren't doing that as much.
Yeah. I think the thing to note, like we're all kind of saying, is when you're using those short and sweet messages on your Instagram captions is to make sure that the keywords that you're talking about are in the caption, meaning that maybe Instagram isn't using hashtags, but they are focusing on keywords, because your those things are still going to be searchable, and that's how you have the Explorer page. You want to make sure that you're still using things that are relevant. And then also we were talking about Meta and how you have to reveal.
Yeah. So they're testing this. I'm not quite sure. I don't think it's gone, officially live, but they are testing this thing where anytime you use AI images, you have to reveal that it's AI, because a lot of people, me included, sometimes I look at AI, I'm like, oh my goodness, that is so realistic. Is it real or is it not? We had that whole Taylor Swift thing, and obviously this right away saying this is not an actual image of her.
Oh, yes.
Solve that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be interesting to see how that goes and if people even follow it or.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of AI, there was this commercial for the Super Bowl. And
I was just gonna say that.
That we were like, this is not real images. They had to have this all AI generated.
Yeah. The lighting was off. There was weird.
It was just
things and where it didn't belong. But they had the hands and the feet, which is a really good telltale sign of AI images.
Yeah.
We were trying to find that.
The hands and the feet were on point.
They were great. So it's getting trickier.
Yeah. I don't know what AI tool that they were using, but I'd love to know.
Right.
Yeah.
Comment below if you guys know what commercial we're talking about. Yeah, no, that's crazy. I mean, AI is taking over. For Twitter, they used to have this thing called Birdwatch, which was like a pilot program when it was called Twitter, and now it's called X. Now they call it Community Notes, which it's kind of like X's own form of Wikipedia, I'd say. Basically, what you do is contributors can add context and fact check posts and images. They can add videos to basically this community note. So there'll be a topic and you can add all your information to it. I don't think that there's anything else that's really popped up for Twitter thus far. We'll see what Elon has in store. LinkedIn. You were kind of talking about LinkedIn the other day. Do you remember what you were talking about?
Yeah, so I mean, Michelle brought up earlier the thing that was found out about putting links in.
Yeah.
Your LinkedIn posts.
So yeah, the deal with that is if you put in a link, LinkedIn does not like that because it's trying to keep everybody on LinkedIn and not going out to different landing pages and so forth. But if you do not put the link in immediately and you wait 10 minutes and then you go back in, edit that post, then you're not going to be dinged as much. So that's kind of like the trick to get around like adding links to your post. So try that and see what you think.
Yeah.
If you get more engagement.
Another thing that people have been doing is because LinkedIn, they're not liking the fact that people are adding all these links. So another thing that people are doing is just adding, like commenting on your own post and adding the link there. So if you're noticing that you're really not getting engagement on posts that include links, try doing that and see if that has any improvements.
The other thing too that, I mean, it's been around for a while. I don't know that a lot of people use it too much is that newsletter option. And that's like nice to be able to put more than a post out there and put more content, and then also try to take advantage of adding videos and adding checklists and different documents and things like that to your business page.
Some other updates that are coming for LinkedIn is they are also updating their live captions. I guess there's just been an issue with captions lately going on. So they are updating that so they're more accessible, just improving their accessibility basically. And then there's also an AI feature. Everybody loves AI. But this one is only available for premium LinkedIn, so you do have to pay for it. But it's just a writing assistant to help improve your posts, improve messages, and any content that you have on your profile.
Probably more geared towards the algorithms, the LinkedIn algorithms.
Yeah.
So yeah, you could use ChatGPT for that, but I'm sure LinkedIn in its own realm has algorithms that you're going to want to hit with that, especially.
I bet they will, boost your post if you do use
for
those.
Sure.
So we can talk about the fun one, which is TikTok. Everybody loves TikTok too. On TikTok, everybody uses music on their videos. So this happened at the beginning of February, I believe. But the Universal Music Group, they are in a feud with TikTok right now. And so they removed all of their artists' music, which is how a lot of things go viral, whether it's just like viral dances or using a specific song for a sound for a video. But a lot of the artists that are on their platform are like Taylor Swift, Drake, The Weeknd, SZA, all the big artists, their music is gone.
Yeah.
So...
Dang, that just sucks.
I know. And that's the thing about that is crazy because, I mean, when they have their artists on there and their songs go viral, that just boosts their music sales.
Think about Doja Cat. During, COVID.
Yeah.
Doja Cat just blew up mainly because a ton of her songs were just so popular on TikTok.
A lot of artists, like, there'll be, like, random artists that have released music that are like super old. Like I can think of an artist in particular, Miguel. He had a song that he had released, I think that had came out, I'll have to double check, but I think it came out like in the, maybe like 2010, maybe 2011, and that song was going viral. So he's like on the charts right now for music that he had done years ago, which is crazy. So I really hope that they figure it out. We can get our music back on TikTok because I like to see all the dance moves. Okay, so Google also came out with their version of AI this month, and that was Gemini. Carly, why are you sighing over there, girl?
So, Gemini and I kind of got in a little bit of a tussle.
Uh-oh.
Because Gemini, unlike other AI, Bing AI or Chat, GTP, wasn't as responsive to me and didn't want to make me laugh.
Okay.
So, for example, I just think they're a lot more strict. For example, I asked it to make an image with a guy in a bathtub full of pizza. Just whatever. You know,
Yeah.
I just like to see what random stuff it can make. They said, no, we will not promote something that's unsanitary.
Oh my gosh.
So, yeah, we got in a little bit of a tussle.
Mm-hmm.
That was just one of the many things that Gemini would not provide for me. So,
Well, maybe improvements will come.
hopefully, but if you're Google and you're gonna launch a huge thing,
Yeah.
you know, you got the resources to. So I don't know. Maybe that was just their way of making sure everything was.
I do feel like I kind of was doing some testing of if I ask Gemini a question and if I ask ChatGPT what are the differences that I get, just because I wanted to see for myself.
Uh-huh.
And I do feel like Gemini is a little bit more, make sure you do this. And it tries to add like reminders and if you need to cite this. Like, I think those are good tools to have in place, obviously, especially with AI. But it is a little bit more locked down, I'd
Yeah.
say.
It is, yeah. And if you're searching anything on cannabis, which we do a lot of, it will say, I'm sorry, we do not support this. Blah, 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 blah. And so
Or
that's...
alcohol too, which is like crazy. I mean, cannabis, there's a lot of
Yeah.
platforms, but alcohol, like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
That is crazy.
Google, loosen the reins a bit,
For
man.
real.
I know, they're too strict.
We have a lot of tools that we use all the time, and we want to be able to provide you guys with knowing about those tools. So what we thought, since we're talking about social media, we should talk about the different platforms that we use to post our social media. There's a few that we don't necessarily use, but we also want to mention them just in case maybe one might suit your needs better. So we're going to talk about the one that we particularly use every day. So let's talk about Sked.
Love them.
Yeah.
We
love Sked. Shout out to Sked.
They also, I don't know, I can't speak on the other posting platforms, but if you have a question, you can just chat it right in there and they'll respond within like 10 minutes. They're crazy at getting back. It's awesome.
Yeah, we love that. What are the features that we have in Sked?
You can post to your stories.
Mm-hmm.
You can set this thing up where it says send a notification to your phone. So before it posts, it gets sent to your phone. So you can add, if you have a reel, you can add updated music or trending music.
Mm-hmm.
And if you posted a story, you can go on the story and add stickers and stuff. They also allow, you can post to X, Threads.
Mm-hmm.
They've got like every platform on there, which is really nice.
Yeah. One of the reasons that really led us to Sked was because of the approval process that they have in place. As we work with our clients, we want to make sure that they get to see everything, that they get to approve everything, and so nothing comes back on us.
Yes.
But
Well, it still does.
Yeah.
But...
yeah. Our fingers crossed. Yeah. But that is the reason why we like Sked, because they do have this whole platform that's kind of separate from the whole scheduling thing, where basically you're able to send your client a link and they can just go through all of the content. They can approve and reject a post. And what's nice about it is after they approve the post, you don't have to do anything else. It just goes live right away. We've used other programs before where maybe they might approve, but then you still have to do an extra step. So that's kind of nice that it just does it right there for you.
Yeah, for sure.
I like the calendar view too, so that you can get a good visual of how often are you posting, is it nice and balanced,
Yeah.
and then also the feed, what that's looking like visually. So I think that's kind of nice. The LinkedIn bio that you can set up
Yeah.
and make sure that that's all updated.
Yeah.
I love the feed view. When you can schedule out, the whole month or whatever and look and see how it will look on your feed and switch things around to make it look more aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah. This isn't an ad for Sked, but we just love them.
However, Sked.
Yes, Sked, you can sponsor us. Call us up. We love you guys. But yeah, what Michelle was saying about the link in bio is really cool because a lot of places don't include that. And there's always that, I think it's called, Linktree.
Linktree, yeah.
Yep. They have a Linktree, and that's a separate platform. That's another thing that you have to log into. But with Sked, It's
in one.
all in one.
Mm-hmm.
Love
Yeah. Shout out to Scud.
And it's really easy to edit and update. Like maybe something's on there that's like an event and it's outdated. It's really easy to go in and just remove that or add new things.
Yeah. I'm going to go through the ones that we know more about first, and then I'm going to do the honorable mentions afterwards. So, Scud was our top dog. A couple others that we have used, obviously, HubSpot. HubSpot is nice because it does integrate with, if you do have it, and it integrates with your CRM, and you can see all of the analytics, and you can connect your social posts to campaigns if you're running those. So, I mean, it is nice. It doesn't have quite everything that we need that we have in Scud, but it does have a lot of options for you. I mean, you can still post on all of those different platforms. I'm not quite sure if you can do, I don't think it has Reels, or I don't think it has that yet. So a couple things I think are still coming, but
what I like about it is just everything being all within one platform and not having to have additional platforms. But even if you are using another platform, you can still connect your social so that if you are like monitoring a marketing campaign and you want to see, hey, how many clicks did we get on this for this particular campaign, it will pull into that reporting for you. So we're all about results, so we want to make sure that we're seeing that data, because the data, we listen to the data tells us what to do. Yeah.
Yes. Another one that we had tested out, but we didn't necessarily end up going with, was the Rush tool. They also have a lot of options as far as like the calendar option and seeing like a bird's eye view of what you have going on. They do have an approval link for your clients or whoever needs to approve, but I do think it just is not, they were limited on the amount of platforms that you could have on there. And I also believe that you had to have approval links for each of the different platforms, whereas like Scud and I believe HubSpot also just includes it all in one.
Yeah, HubSpot does have the approval process, which is pretty new. They just released that at their last inbound.
We can't not talk about this, but MetaSuite.
Yeah.
That's obviously always an option. If you don't want to pay for an additional program to do these things, you can always use the MetaSuite. Obviously, you're limited to just Instagram and Facebook, so if you are posting on LinkedIn and Twitter, you will have to log into those things and post organically. But they are still there for you. You can still post, your feed posts. You can do carousels, and you can post stories. Yep. Anything else that you
do reels as well. I mean, it'll automatically change it to a reel.
Yeah, and every video. Yeah,
but you can't do YouTube, X, any of that other stuff. You got to do that. Just another step for you.
Yeah.
Right. It's ideal.
Yeah. I think that's really why we like using these different platforms, that you can post all at once. So that you log into one platform and you can post all of your social media. You can schedule it out. You can do it all at once and then just let it go and forget about it until you see it on your feed. But I know a lot of people that complain that I just don't have time. I forget to go in and post, and so I'm not consistent. And this kind of solves that problem, because if you can just spend a few hours,
knock it
roll them out, and then
forget about it,
you're good to go.
It's always good to have your content like ready to go. Obviously, things pop up. If you can plan ahead, that saves you so much. So I will list out some of our honorable mentions. We don't necessarily use these platforms, but I know that there's a lot of people that are. So there's Hootsuite, and then there's also Later, which is another platform that I feel like they are more Instagram focused. Instagram and Facebook, I'd say, but they do have the option to post on some of the other platforms as well.
Sprout Social is another one too that I know that Brittany and I had looked into before Scud, so that's an option too. But some of these can get really expensive.
They can.
So you just have to really figure out what is the most important to you. And like for us being an agency, we have a lot of accounts and clients and all that. Sched is really meant for agencies, and you know, when we're doing like multiple clients, and so it's all on the same platform, which is really cool.
Yeah, I'd say if you're starting out, then I would definitely just start with some of the tools. A lot of these platforms are coming out with their own scheduling ways. I think, you know, obviously MetaSuite has theirs. And I want to say that, like, you can schedule things on YouTube and also... And TikTok, yeah.
LinkedIn and all that, but you have to go over there one by one, which can be a little bit time-consuming.
But, yeah, just carve out some time and you can get it done. So, another tool that we have been using recently for video captions is Adobe Express.
Yes. As of recently, I've started, you know, kind of playing around with what places can we do automatic captions. I don't want to sit there and type it out the whole time.
Yeah.
With that being said, do double check because sometimes I will get it wrong. I've been using Adobe Express for automatic video captions. You can change the font to, you know, your brand font. You can change the lettering, the backdrop, all that stuff. The color of the font. So it's been really nice, and I think I guess we'll see how it goes because obviously Instagram does have the automatic captions, but with that it's listening to everything that you have, flagging as it listens. So, you know, that's kind of tricky, especially with what we do, a lot of our marketing. So yeah, we'll definitely have to see how Instagram and Meta respond to that.
I have noticed, speaking specifically about cannabis, where people are posting reels, if they do mention the word cannabis, they're changing the words to maybe a leaf within the caption, or if they say the word blunts, they change the word, maybe add an asterisk or whatever have you. And I have been seeing they've been still getting good engagement on those videos, so we're definitely testing that out to see how that works for us. I feel like we covered a lot.
We did. And I think like one of my favorite things is when I listen to other podcasts is the tools, because it's what? Oh, yeah, you know, and then I'm like,
that down.
Yeah. So we'll make sure that we have links in this so that everybody can check it out.
Absolutely. So if you do go to thrivepop.com/podcast, you'll see a list of all of the podcast episodes on there. And then if you click on them below, you'll be able to see each podcast. So if there's resources that we're mentioning, or like Michelle said, checklists, anything like that, we will be listing those below. So
and key takeaways.
Provided
by yours truly.
Yes, Carly is handling the key takeaways. I can't wait to see what the key takeaways are from this episode.
Carly's amazing. That's the key takeaway.
Yeah. If you can write that.
Speaks, timestamp.
Yeah. I love it. All right. Thanks for listening to us, guys, and we'll check you in our next episode.
Thanks for listening with us today. Stay tuned for the latest in web marketing and design from ThrivePop. Want to be a pop star? Head over to thrivepop.com/podcast to join our mailing list for episode notifications, sneak peeks, listener feedback, and more.